All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. We have a relatively small group today, which is okay.
People are taking training today, right?
In theory, there's Den Leader and Cub Master today. They're doing both of them, so we'll see. But as with always, we're going to start with sign-ins. I'll just send one around since we're all friends here.
We're all in the same row, and there's no one
I know. I don't even need all these chairs. It's okay. We're going to have an intimate conversation today. Welcome to our December edition of Sunset Trails Roundtable Breakout. I think you all have been to my breakouts. Is there anybody here new? You all know me, right? I think? Probably? No? Okay. Well, I won't go through the reasons why we do sign-ins. Just give me your name, your rank, and your serial number, and I'll get you an email by the end of the day today with all digital copies of our handouts, our slides. Today we're going paperless today. I don't have a table. I didn't print a bunch of stuff out. All of the handouts are on the Google Drive that you will get a link to later on this evening. It's all in PDF format. You can download it, share it, email it to your friends, keep it for all time. But I'm going budget today, so we're paperless. So that's what it's all about. For those of you who don't know me, if you don't recognize me, my name is Mike Boltz. I'm your Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner. My partner in crime, Daryl, can't be with us here this evening. This is not a running joke. He has a crazy work schedule. He sends his regrets. He'll probably be here next month if he can. We are resources to you. I get all kinds of funny phone calls from what's going on with scouting for food to who's my unit commissioner and everything in between. And I welcome those. If you have a problem, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. What are we talking about today? We're going to talk about the Outdoor Ethics Award. That's one of my things I like to do, talk about awards. And that can be earned by both scouts and scouters. We're going to talk about the January point of the scout law and the theme. And we're going to do, as was requested, a game and a cheer and a gathering activity to take home and do with as you will. They're pretty simple, they're pretty straightforward. And we're talking about the Blue and Gold Banquet, Air of Light Ceremonies, Crossover Ceremonies. I actually slid in Bobcat in here too. I know of one, and I don't know if you guys have a specific Bobcat ceremony that you do. I know there's a couple out there. There's one that's very widely used. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And
we had to rewrite it this year.
Did they?
Well, I had to.
Oh, really?
Because all the things talk about
the promise and
stuff
the,
kind of.
Now, Akela is still in there. It's just
but it was
not.
It was talking about the script of doing the old law.
Okay.
And the old
The law.
So we had to get all the new stuff incorporated in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you'll have a new script at the end of the day today.
Okay.
And I don't think the one that we have has the law of the pack and the promise. And we'll wrap it up with final thoughts and resources. Questions or comments? We're going to get going. Okay. Outdoor Ethics Award. There are actually 3 different awards. Ethics Awareness, Ethics Action, and the Service Recognition. This third one, I've had a hard time finding information about officially. I've got some third-party sources. I still believe that it exists, but it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what BSA National is doing with that. This whole set is a fairly new award. I believe it was created in 2003. And you can find more information on scouting.org. There's a link there. All the links are live, by the way, in the PDF file you can download. So let's talk about the first one, Ethics Awareness. This is a good one for Cub Scouts, and it's really manageable. There's one catch that I know Ann's aware of, and we'll talk about in just a second. There are 4 requirements to earn the Outdoor Ethics Award. There's a nice patch that comes with it, a temporary patch. Describe the outdoor code means to you, do a couple of online things, and then participate in the conservation activity led by either a ethics orientation trainer or master. Yes?
So when you say temporary patch, I mean it's like one of the hangers?
I don't have one on my uniform, but yeah, you can get the plastic. She's got one. University of Scouting, yeah.
That's what.
I've had some people actually stitch on loops so they can hang it just like that for a standard one, or they get the plastic things, yeah. This is the catch, trainer or master. So you can't just go out and do a solve project or guide me on a tree plant or whatever. It has to be guided by a person who's specially trained. And we'll talk about that special training in just a second. So these are the requirements for Cub Scouts. As an adult leader, you can also earn this. There's a very similar set of requirements, a little bit more online stuff. Tread Lightly, course certificate, training, Leave No Trace, and National Park Service program there. And then, of course, it's a little bit more in detail as adults. We can actually memorize and guide our scouts into understanding the meaning of the outdoor code. And again, participate in that some sort of a conservation project led by a person who is a trainer or master in outdoor ethics, Boy Scouts of America. The next level up is the Ethics Action Award. There's a whole list of things here. This is for Cub Scouts can earn this. And when they earn this, they get a cool little name badge, which is awesome. I'll let you go through these. It's very in-depth. There's more things about presenting stuff to your den, learning more things. It's something you could probably do as a Webelos, as a wolf, or a tiger, maybe not. And of course, as a scout or as an adult leader, it's a very lengthy list of things. Again, presenting, helping other Cub Scouts earn their Outdoor Ethics Award, making a presentation for a roundtable or something like that. There's a lot going on here. It's fairly prestigious. I haven't actually seen this award, this version of it, the Ethics Action Award, in the wild yet, so to speak. I hope that sometime I will. The top one is the Ethics Service Recognition, and this is all about, if you read some of these things, for Scouts and Scouters, a one-year term as a Council Outdoor Ethics Advocate, and you do one of these three things. As a youth serving in a unit, you are a 6-month or longer program of unit activities addressing Leave No Trace. You're a proponent of this now. You're teaching the younger Scouts. You're staffing or leading a combination of educator courses. This is a big deal. So 3 tiers, it's a big thing. How do you, this trainer I mentioned for doing these projects, the one person who's supposed to guide these, how do you find someone who can do this? Well, here's how you get there. There are 2 levels. There's trainer and master to enable this. The trainer requirements are essentially done at the council level. Complete the Leave No Trace trainer course. That's a council level training thing. Outdoor ethics orientation courses. Submit your stuff to council, and basically you take one of 2 tracks: tread lightly or Leave No Trace. This is the kind of thing that we would need to coordinate with a council level professional trainer to make sure that we get people on board. My guess at this point, if you were to coordinate with a Boy Scout troop in your area, you might be able to find somebody within the troop community that has this. That's my guess. Even just being an ethics trainer takes a fair bit of time. Right now, as a Cub Scout volunteer, you could look into starting this and maybe be ready to offer that kind of service to others, in a year or 2, or even when you join, if you're in a traditional unit, a community unit, when you start to join Boy Scouts. There's a lot here. Or you could try to find someone. Ethics Master is a big deal. Complete the Leave No Trace Master Ethics course and 2 Leave No Trace trainer courses, or the Tread Lightly. Again, it's kind of 2 tracks here. And you're instructing other ethics orientation courses. Again, in this one, notice that with the ethics trainer, you can be 14 or over. You can have your older Boy Scouts do this. This is really sort of an adult thing. Questions on that? It's a lot.
First patch, was there an older version of that patch? That one? Yeah.
I've seen a different, more almost like stylized version of it. I don't know if it's been changed. It may have.
I thought there was one that's like that, but it looks like the cascade is shaped,
Really? I don't know. This is the one that I'm aware of. I think that's what they have down at Scout Shop. They may have revamped the patch.
Okay.
It's very possible. It's been 12 years or so since they created this.
There was an outdoor ethics book, or outdoor ethics award in the Weeblos book, the older book.
Okay.
And
There's one that was a pocket patch. One that was
Really?
but I don't know which
Okay.
one. I don't know if that's the outdoor ethics one or if it's
Not the ethics.
Well-
it's the other outdoor one.
Oh, the Outdoor Activity Award.
Outdoor
Yes.
activity.
That's the one you think.
Yes.
Yeah, that goes
That's
over
got a
the
nice
pocket.
patch.
That's a nice one. On the Scout's right. The Cub Scout's right pocket. Yeah.
Okay.
So does the
Very-
council offer the ethics orientation course?
I would hope so. At this point, I don't know. I have to call down and see if they actually have someone who's willing to teach that. That's an excellent question. At this point, I don't know how much our council supports this program. And if it doesn't, maybe it's the kind of thing that if we have enough interest in doing this, we should start bugging the people at council, hey, we should put something together. because this is a good program. I mean, conservation has been a big part of scouting since it began. So,
It says Portland, it should be.
I know, right? It's Portland. Other questions?
Yeah, it looks like it's not that hard for the boys to do if they, we have a person who could do the stuff.
Exactly.
Seems like it's a lot of stuff they're already doing.
Right.
Right. If you already do conservation projects.
Outdoor activity work, it's not that hard if you're already doing events and stuff. Because all my kids got this last summer,
Always people.
so.
Yeah. I mean, my pack's done Solve projects and other conservation projects just kind of on our own, or again, partnering with Solve. And all this would require is somebody being there to guide you.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
'Cause we do the solid beach cleanup too.
exactly. And there's no reason why that wouldn't count. It doesn't, there's no restriction on what type of project you do. It's participate in an activity facilitated by this person who's trained. And so they're there to kind of guide you and probably do a bit of a presentation discussion about what outdoor code is all about, what this is, why this is important.
Those are already rule requirements.
Yeah, well, and actually outdoor code goes up and down from Arrow of Light, I believe, all the way down to Tiger. There's something in every single rank advancement now. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to January. We're in December. We're looking forward for our Cub Masters in the room and our den leaders. If you guys use the point of the Scout Law, January is Trustworthy. Trustworthy is a great one, especially for Cub Scouts. I like the Scout tells the truth. He's honest and he keeps his promises, and people can depend on him. This is the kind of thing you can easily fold into a Cub Masters minute if you do that during your den meeting, during your pack meeting, discuss what trustworthy is and why it's important. A couple of quotes. I threw these in here for kicks and grins. You can use them if you want. I love the Baden Val quote up here about being an honorable man and trusted with other people's things, other valuables. He will not steal them. That's a good one I like. So take that for what it's worth, just some quotes. Some ideas for January. I like this one. Visit a newspaper or TV station and discuss how honesty is important in journalism. That's a good one. Visit a courthouse, maybe a city hall, police station. I saw a recommendation of a bank. Places where being trustworthy is very important. And people rely on that. The Tell It Like It Isn't game. Are you guys familiar with that one? Tell It Like It Isn't. It's kind of it's basically the telephone game. You whisper into a line of scouts a message, and they whisper it to each other and get to the end. And
That was the Tigers last year.
yeah, exactly. And now it isn't. But you can still use the game. And it's hilarious. You can do twists on it and things like that. When it gets to the end, what these scouts think it was. So, and that's a good one too. And discuss why gossiping isn't good and why it's important to be, open and all
If
that.
you want to throw a twist in there, what we did was we set the kids across the room and they had to walk across the next guy. And that act of walking across loses a lot of information.
All of a sudden, the message is just completely gone.
It was very funny.
A couple of adventures, if you haven't tackled them yet, that kind of factor into trustworthiness. Team Tiger, Howling at the Moon, Bear Claws with the pocket knives. You've got to trust the person next to you not to go crazy. Cast Iron Chef with learning how to build a fire and sort of some of those things and cooking. And really any ideas, if you go to the Googles and search for Cub Scout core value honesty, it's basically the same thing. And there's lots of great stuff from years past on honesty. So go ahead and tap into that if you so wish. What else? Okay, so when you look at one of the handouts, one of the flyers on the Google Drive, it's about a 4-page thing, and it's about some different ideas like games and songs and a prayer and a cheer for your January pack meeting, den meeting. The assumption is, the theme is the Great Race, and the assumption from National is that we are doing our Pinewood Derby in January. I don't know about you guys, I don't do my Derby in January. Do you guys do your Derby?
Yeah,
we do?
We do.
Really? Cool. Okay, so if you do, that's a great way to tie it in. So, the Great Race. And for those of us who don't, I kind of take it for what it's worth. I'm going to not use the Great Race a lot, but
When do you guys do yours?
we do ours in early March.
Okay.
First weekend usually. But if you do January, stick with it. That's awesome. And then again, talk about how being a member of a racing team, you need to trust those people around you. Even though Pinewood Derby is sort of an individual thing, you know, positive attitude and sportsmanship. They're all part of being trustworthy. Team members have to trust each other to perform their tasks. One thing that I remember distinctly, I used to play soccer when I was a Cub Scout age youth, and I had a really great coach one year, and his comment to me, us all, when we got frustrated when we lost a game or somebody scored on us, was, guys, in the game of soccer, when the other team scores, that ball had to get past every single one of you who's on the field. Every single one of you needs to work as a team to defend. And it changed the mindset. And if you can kind of twist that into a message for your Cub Scouts, that we're all in this together as a team, that's a great way to spin this and a great race thing. Does that make sense? Awesome. A game. Who was here for one of my recruitments? Hi, Andrew. How's it going? Good. Did you guys hear from my recruitment pitch before? Back in August? I talked about one of my favorite simple setup games, ping pong air hockey. All you need, and I almost brought in a card table today, but it was pouring down rain. All you need is a ping pong ball and a card table. It takes 30 seconds to set up. And the way you do this is you have card table, ping pong ball in the middle, and 4 Cub Scouts, 1 on each side. Hands behind the back, ping pong ball in the middle, and you have to blow with your mouth and try to get the ball not to roll off your side of the table. If it rolls off your side of the table, you get a point. It's like golf. Lowest score wins. It can be very fun. It's good for about 5 or 10 minutes of entertaining scouts. It can also be done with just 2 scouts, 1 on each side of the table. 4 is really better. And it gets pretty hilarious. Mix it up, have 2 balls. So, that's my suggestion for a game today. Tune in next month for more games. So, we'll do a bandana cheer. This is one of my favorites. Who knows the bandana cheer? Oh, come on, guys. Bandana cheer is simple.
You just throw it and then cheer until it drops.
We cheer uproariously only when the bandana is not in my hand and not on the floor. That's the bandana cheer. All you need is a bandana and a little bit of spunk behind it. All right, and a gathering activity. I was going to bring in a Nerf disc, a frisbee, if you will, because this can be done inside, this can be done outside. And I had to visit a Tiger Den meeting about 2 weeks ago because I lost one of my Tiger Den leaders. He had to move out of state for work, so I had to go and convince the parents, somebody has to do this. Right? My job as a committee chair. And he had this great game of like foam gift boxes, like Christmas presents. And he had little targets set out around, and they would toss the gift boxes. And it dawned on me, I read some things about disc games indoors. Similar idea, you have soft discs or something that isn't going to damage a wall, furniture, or whatever. Set up targets. Boys love to throw things. The key is that they want to throw things at 90 miles an hour. If you give them a target, they can practice and get really good at aiming. And it kind of takes that energy and focuses it. And you can have targets that are far distance away, you can have ones close. You can set up a course around a room, you know, with obstacles to get a disc over a thing and through it into a wastebasket or whatever, through a hoop, something like that. If you do this indoors, use foam, Nerf, something like that. You can do it outdoors with your nice hard frisbee disc or in a Aerobie if you're really adventurous. Go to town. And this is actually from a activity idea from the Wolf Leader Guide. Andy might be aware of this, the Call of the Wild First Meeting. It's one of their suggestions for a gathering activity. Something like that is simple, but again, scouts can come in at the beginning of your meeting and join in and don't have to have a critical mass of boys to do it. You can have 1 or 2 scouts throwing things around, and then 3rd and 4th scout comes in and they join. If a scout gets bored, they can take a step back and cheer somebody else on, all that kind of thing. So that's my suggestion for a gathering activity. Want to hear more next month?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Excellent.